Welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Chicago Bulls Summer League. We're going to look at their schedule and the roster that they put together. Let's take a look at the Bulls schedule for the 2024 Summer League. They'll open up on Saturday, July 13th against the Milwaukee Bucks. The game will be at Cox Pavilion on ESPN Plus and NBA TV. Game 2 will be the next day, 14th, a late game that night. 9 p.m. Central against the Warriors, Thomas and Mack Arena, and ESPN2 for that one. July 16th, Tuesday, 5:30 against the Pistons, Thomas and Mack, ESPN Plus, and NBA TV. And then they finish up their fourth game of Summer League on Friday, July 19th at 5 p.m. against the Atlanta Hawks, again at Thomas and Mack, and on NBA TV and ESPN Plus. If you're not familiar with the format of Summer League for this year, they play 4 games. The top 4 teams will advance to playoffs and then semifinals and finals. Now, looking at the roster the Bulls have put together for Summer League, we've got out of Northwestern, Chase Audige, played last year with the G League between Capital City Go-Go for the Wizards and the Windy City Bulls. Audige is an athletic wing, steals machine at Northwestern. He was a co-defensive player of the year. Shooting, he's streaky, so he can get really hot, and then there's times where he could almost shoot the Wildcats out of games. But I'm super excited to see a Northwestern guy here for the Bulls. Moving along, Matas Buzelis, the first round pick of the Bulls this year from Hinsdale, Illinois. He played for Overtime Elite last year in the G League, so did not go the college route. He's super raw, but bouncy. The shooting is a work in progress, but again, still very young, 1 year out of high school, really. Noted for being a really good cutter and being able to score the ball in multiple ways. Really strong mid-range game, kind of sneaky, can get to the bucket. So he's maybe a work in progress, but where the Bulls got him, outside of the top 10, really, really strong place to get him. He was projected everywhere I saw to go, maybe 6 to 10 in the draft. So really excited to watch him this summer. Moving along, Garrison Brooks, we've got out of Mississippi State. He played 4 years at North Carolina before Mississippi State. Not a noted shooter, but can shoot it a little bit. He's a big guy, going to be a defensive rebounder, post screen man, low post scorer. He's kind of shown defensive lapses at times, so maybe one of the reasons he hasn't hooked on with anyone yet. And I have that he's a very solid athlete. Moving on, Marcus Damask from Illinois. 4 years at Southern Illinois before transferring to Illinois last year, but be really excited for a lot of Illinois fans to see him this summer. Undrafted, of course, but really strong mid-range game. Scored 2,218 points in his 5-year college career. So definitely can score the ball. Was a key centerpiece in that Illinois booty ball experiment last year, and went all the way to the Elite Eight. One weakness on him, I mean, his 3-point shooting is not his strong suit, and you would think that would have to improve for him to stick in the NBA. Shot just 29.7% last year at Illinois from deep. Speaking of shooters now, we've got Henry Drell. Spent the majority of the year for Windy City last year, but did play 4 games between March and April for the Bulls last year, scoring 11 points over those 4 games. He averaged 15.6 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in the 30 games he played at Windy City last year, and shot the ball 31.6% from 3. So he's a guy I'm really looking at as a guy who could spend time with the Bulls this year. And really provide some shooting, which they've needed desperately over the last, well, quite some years now. Continuing the shooting trend, we've got Andrew Funk, and I immediately think of him at Penn State 2 years ago, where he just was torching Illinois and Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. They beat Northwestern two or three times near the end of the year there. Once in overtime at Welsh Ryan, and then anyways, he did get 5 games with the Bulls last year, between March and April. Did not score and really kind of just played in garbage time, but did see the court a little bit. He played between Grand Rapids Gold and the Windy City Bulls for the most part, and he shot a scorching 36.5% from three, and that was with 3.2 threes made per game in 33 games. So he's shooting a lot, making a lot. So I mean that's something that's got my attention going into summer league. Back at Penn State, not I'm looking at 2 years ago, 41.2% from three with yeah, he averaged made threes per game in that year, so he's a shooter. Prior to Penn State, he did play 4 years at Bucknell, so he's one of those grad transfers, really benefiting from that, getting himself a look here in summer league. Moving along, a little bit more of a veteran, Nathan Knight. He's played 30 to 40 NBA games a year from 2020 season until the 2022-23 season, spending time with the Atlanta Hawks and Minnesota Timberwolves. Last season, he was in the G League for the Motor City and Maine. Knight is a bit of an undersized big, stands at 6'8", but he's got very polished footwork. As I mentioned, he's a veteran. He's been around. He's a solid guy to have on this team, and his range kind of extends, maybe free throw range, but not to the three. Favorite move in the post is a spin move. We'll see if he can expand that three a little bit. He was 10 for 19 in his career in the G League, so I mean he hasn't shot it a lot, but he's shown the ability to make it a little bit. So we'll see, kind of a veteran guy hoping to make the team here. Now we'll look at the Bulls' second round pick from last year. 35th overall, is Julian Phillips. He was taken out of Tennessee after just his freshman year. Very raw still, very, very versatile, especially defensively is where the Bulls loved him. The shooting and offense, I mean, it's coming along a little bit. That was something we're really still looking for a big step forward. So love to see him playing in the summer league here, hopefully getting to be part of the offense. But Phillips got more than just a taste of the NBA last year. He played 20 plus minutes in 3 games for the Bulls, especially when they were kind of really hurting for bodies there for a little bit. But hoping to see a big step on offense and still seeing that defensive versatility that the Bulls love in him. Moving along, Darian Sebron. He's played 11 games in the NBA over the past 2 years, all for the New Orleans Pelicans. He's a lefty, very quick, excels in transition. That's where he was great at NC State. I remember him a little bit there. He's a driver, not really a shooter, but he's looking to run. Fast break is his game. Moving along to one of the more familiar faces, and he's recently signed a two-way contract for the 2024-2025 season. Adama Sanogo, the 2023 national champion for UConn, was an absolute beast down low for the Windy City Bulls last season, and he did get 9 games with the Chicago Bulls last year, 29 down in the G League with Windy City. He was a double-double machine down there. He averaged 22 points and 12.7 rebounds a game. So I'm really hoping that continues, and I think we'll definitely get to see him in Chicago a little bit this year. Back into the guards a little bit. Javonte Smart. He's bounced around the NBA and G League over the last couple of years. He even played in Serbia for part of last year. He's a point guard, pretty good vision. Can shoot the three, shot 40.2% from three when he was at LSU back in 2020-21. And that was pretty high volume as well with 2.53 threes made per game. He did play 1 game with the 76ers last year, but really looking to stick on with someone here. Moving along from Chicago, DJ Stewart from Whitney Young, undrafted in 2021 after just 1 year at Duke, where he averaged 13 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists. So he had some good numbers at Duke, tried to do the one and done. Hasn't played an NBA game yet, but has played in the G League for multiple teams, including Stockton and Maine from 2021 to 2023. He is a former five-star recruit in McDonald's All-American, so plenty of potential there. So hoping to see DJ Stewart get some run this summer. And rounding out the roster is the undrafted rookie out of Hofstra, Tyler Thomas, a scoring machine at Hofstra. He scored 2,321 points in 5 seasons, two at Hofstra, three at Sacred Heart. He averaged 22.5 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.3 assists last year, so he did it all for the Pride. He played 95.8% of Hofstra's minutes, which is second in the entire country behind just Isaac McBride at Oral Roberts. And Tyler Thomas took 35.5% of his team shots, so sixth in the country on that. So he very high usage. Of course, a smaller school, and we'll have to see. It's always interesting to me how these high level scorers from the smaller schools are able to look in summer league, because they're used to having their ball in their hands the whole time. So how will he adjust, and how much time does he get here with this squad? Going into summer league, there's four things that I'm really looking for as a fan. I'm looking for the development of our young draft picks, Matas Buzelis and Julian Phillips, both really raw, and really hoping they can show some shooting and some ability to just look like they're comfortable out there, got the feel, improving, all that. Number two, as an Illinois and Northwestern fan, I'm curious to see Marcus Domask and Chase Audige. Hoping they get plenty of run. Third, I'm looking for Adama Sanogo to really impose himself on the game, see if he can dominate like he did in the G League last year. Fourth, I'm looking for some shooting. Everyone knows the Bulls were really rough in the three-point shooting department last year. So really looking for Henry Drell and Andrew Funk to provide some of that shooting. Maybe one of them can make the roster. I'm super excited for Summer League to get underway. I'm hoping to take in Bulls and Bucks on Saturday from Vegas. I appreciate you watching the video. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on to help me continue to grow this thing. Go Bulls!